Have you ever experienced a grand suite on board a Royal Caribbean ship? Come with me and I'll take you through it. So in this video, I'm going to break this down into a few different sections. So we're going to look at Voyager of the Seas, which is the ship we were on. We're going to look at the itinerary, we're going to look at the room, and then we're going to look at the different amenities on board the ship. We use the Royal Bid Up process, which a lot of you may be aware of, which is their bidding platform to get to a grand suite. We put in the minimum bid. Now this was during COVID, so in terms of timing here, there weren't many people that were actually booking on board the cruise ship. It was just shortly after COVID, so we're kind of talking 2022 here, not long after, and so there was still some precautions in place that we had to follow on board the ship. However, anyway, the ship's in really good condition. It's been well looked after over the years. It's got a lot of the amenities that you might be familiar with if you've been on one of the Explorer class or Freedom classes, or any of the ones kind of pre-Quantum or Oasis class. So it's got like the R bar, which is on the promenade. It has the ice skating rink, and it has a number of those different lounges, like the Crown Lounge, the Diamond Lounge. It has the kind of the crow's nest kind of bar as well, which is quite a nice space, particularly on this cruise as well. We sailed underneath one of the bridges in Malmo in Sweden, which was a pretty cool thing to experience. But it was all in all, it was a nice ship, showing its age a little bit. But it was still in kind of. So in terms of itinerary, we had a few different places, as you can see here. We went from Copenhagen, where we embarked upon, and then we went from there to Stockholm in Sweden, over to Helsinki, Finland, then Tallinn in Estonia, and then Visby in Sweden. Now we were meant to originally go to St. Petersburg in Russia, but due to the war, they closed the port and they changed it to Visby, which is a small island actually at the mouth of the river that goes through Sweden. So we weren't actually too bothered about that. I mean, I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to go to St. Petersburg, but it's not the cruise line's fault. And then we ended up back in Copenhagen again. So yeah, in terms of the cruise, it was a 7-day cruise, and yeah, it was. I think it was a really good and different cruise journey, and we got to see some places that we'd not seen before, and they're not ports that you now come across very often, particularly places like Visby, which are detours. So next up, the room. So the room that we have was a grand suite, which is in the suite class. It's the second level up, so the lowest level was a junior suite. If you know Royal Caribbean, a junior suite is essentially just a large balcony. You don't really get many other benefits, but you get almost all of the benefits, if not all of the benefits, at suite level. So things like a concierge, you get contacted, I think it's about a week before the cruise. The concierge introduces themselves. His name was Bala. He was really good. And he asks whether or not there's anything he can do to make you more comfortable on the cruise, to give you any advice about the ship or the itinerary. And so when we got to the terminal on the day, we went through the suite entrance, and then the first thing we did actually was we went straight to the concierge, met him, introduced ourselves. We got access to the concierge lounge, which again is a benefit you get at the grand suite and higher level. It's a nice space. They have canapes and they do afternoon cocktails. So if you don't have a drinks package, you can go there and get drinks before you go towards your dining in the evening. And then we went to the room. Now the room in a grand suite, essentially, as you walk through, and it's the same, I think, even in newer ships, but you have the space split out into kind of two areas. So you've got your bedroom, which is normally separated by a curtain or kind of a partition, and then you've got your kind of kitchenette, kind of like bar area at the front. You've got tons of storage, as you can see here. You've got a great big bar. It's got a coffee machine in it. They deliver fruit and lots of snacks and things as well. But then you've got a big seated area as well, which was quite nice. Little kind of TV lounge space. And then you've got your massive bathroom, which is essentially double wide. So you've got your toilet on one side, and then you've got your full-blown shower on the other. In junior suites, you tend to get it cut down quite a lot. It's quite a lot smaller, but this was fully spread out. And then equally, the balcony was also kind of double the width of a standard balcony. So all in all, it was a pretty cool room. I imagine we were lucky because of the time we went, but otherwise, I'd say it was a great room. And as you can see in the pictures and the video, it's pretty well looked after as well, considering the ship is as old as it is. I'd recommend it. So one of the benefits of being in a grand suite on one of the older ships is that you get access to the Chops Grill for breakfast, which is kind of a nice touch, particularly if you didn't want to visit the Windjammer. I know on newer ships you have a dedicated coastal kitchen. I think it was a nice touch to be able to use that space, and it's quite a large restaurant, so it meant that they could accommodate anyone that had a grand suite or above. And we had breakfast there a few times. Otherwise, we used, as I said, the concierge lounge a few times, and that was quite a nice space as well. They had a really good bartender working in there as well, who was very kind of keen to make sure everyone's well looked after. And otherwise, we went to the R bar quite a lot. That's quite a nice space. It's on the main promenade deck. It's quite centrally located. It's got quite a cool vibe. If you've been on an Independence class ship before, or a Voyager class, you'll find it's the same bar in the same space actually as the other ones. We were out every day, so it was quite an active cruise. But this ship has been amplified, so it means that it's got the water slides on it that you'd expect to see on some of the newer ships, some of the amplified ships like the Independence and the Freedom. And the Windjammer, a few of the central places like Studio B have been renovated as well, so it's kind of more kid friendly as well if you have a family. And otherwise we thought it was a great ship, and had a good vibe about it. It was a good size, wasn't too busy, and didn't feel too crowded. So if you're interested in knowing about the price for this, we paid in pounds. So if you're going to convert to dollars, it's about 1.3 at the moment. I think it was about the same conversion rate at the time. We originally purchased a junior suite, a guaranteed junior suite. We paid £1,466 for the two of us. Now, we then purchased on top of that the upgrade bid from that to a grand suite, and we paid £185 per person. So we think that was a pretty good deal.